Trond.
I'm Trond Bakkevik, the convener of the Council of Religious Institutions in the Holy Land, comprising of the Chief Rabbinate of Israel, the Church Leaders Meeting in Jerusalem, and the Minister of the Waqf and the Supreme Judge of the Sharia courts on the Palestinian side. So it's the three main religious bodies being represented in this council. And we discuss Jerusalem from time to time, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult to get to that discussion. And I see this initiative and the results of this initiative as a gift also to the religious leaders. To give it a new start, to give the discussions, the talks, we need to have a new start. Because as Patriarch Saba, who's been a key figure in this work for a long time, has said, we need to restore the holiness of Jerusalem. And if this is a contribution to that, I think even God will be thankful to you. Because Jerusalem is the only city in the world where you can take a Muslim in Jakarta, a Jew in Chicago, and a churchgoer in Norway, and they will all feel some kind of attachment and even ownership of the city. And what Palestinians and Israelis do to the city concern not only them, but the whole rest of the world. And then that's a big responsibility. I want to comment just on two or three small things. One is, I think Marshall Brigger is very correct in saying that there are lots of issues which have to be dealt with regarding the religious communities, which have to be dealt with through a court system, through a legal system, and not by a religious council. I know about all the discussions about the churches and the status quo which the Turks introduced was very much because of the quarrels, discussions, physical struggles between the church leaders. I'm not so pessimistic about that now, and I think the fact that if you include Jews and Muslims in the council, it will also be of help to the church leaders. The church leaders have one problem, and that is that they are many. The Jews and the Muslims can be represented through one body. The church leaders are not so easy to have that happen, but they can be forced, and they should be forced. But the religious council is one thing. Whatever one calls it, one needs a mechanism by which one deals with issues relating both to the holy sites and the relationship between the religions in Jerusalem. I think a religious council is a good start, but we need to discuss how that can be done and how it can be developed. Secondly, I think it's important to notice that Jordan is an important stakeholder, as Ambassador Kurtz has said, having control of the Waqf of the Haram al-Sharif, and which means that they need to be included in future discussions about this. I must also say that the Chief Rabbinate has a very positive role in that, in saying that access should not be allowed for Jews on the Holy Mount, whatever happens with that. At least it means that they renounce religious control at the moment, but suspend it until the Messiah comes. Because all three religions have the coming of the Messiah linked to Jerusalem. So in one sense, we can all sit back and relax and see what happens. Because then there will be no Muslims, no Jews, no Christians. We'll all be grateful. Meanwhile, we need to do what we need to do.
Thank you very much. Now I'll ask Wendy Chamberlin to come up and close the conference.
Thank you all very much. I think this has been an extraordinary morning. Many good ideas, robust discussion. I want to thank the participants for all joining us, and of course, you all were terrific. It's been 7 or 5 years, whatever it is, of hard work, but I think the point that is very clearly made is that it's been worthwhile. Before I close this conference, if I could just draw your attention to the desk over here in the corner where we're displaying some of our publications from the Middle East Institute, the Middle East Journal, and some of our viewpoints, etc. Thank you again. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of the morning.